are now a year in, so we can look at the economy, and I know you have some very critical views about it. But I wanted to ask you about this quote. This is in The Hill. This is not from you, but from somebody else this morning. This is Matt Bennett. He's the co-founder of what is described as a centrist think tank, Third Way. And he said, quote, if Trump had this economy, he'd be calling it the greatest ever. Yes, there's high inflation, but low unemployment and a booming stock market. So I think they, meaning the administration, need to be more aggressive about addressing the things people really care about and making sure people know what the Biden administration has achieved. Do you think that's right?
Not necessarily. So first, Andrew, good to see you. Happy New Year. Thanks for having me back.
Happy New Year to you.
So look, the problem isn't the Biden messaging. The problem is Biden's policies themselves. I believe he bungled this economic recovery. He inherited a better than expected recovery from 2020. There were trillions of dollars of stimulus, life-saving vaccines, and much of the regions finally reopening as a country. Should have been a very strong year. He's missed all 3 quarters of economic projections. He's 1 million jobs short of his promises from the COVID stimulus. You know, the wage increases or the inflation increases were so much last year. He gave back 3 years of real wage growth for most Americans, and his policies actually made the labor shortage or crisis worse. So, look, I feel like, you know, using a baseball analogy, President Biden began his presidency standing on third base, and he proudly stole second. And I think the biggest change he could make, starting with the right now here on his 1-year anniversary, is to course correct. Stop pursuing the policies like major tax hikes on job creators and investors in America that have created a great deal of uncertainty, certainly, and had an impact on investment, as well as addressing inflation in a big way.
Well, the real question, though, I would argue to you is, and look, we can debate what's happened in terms of Build Back Better and all these other plans, but isn't so much of what's facing Americans today is a product of inflation and, frankly, a product of the Federal Reserve? And so the question is there too much deference to the Federal Reserve? Maybe the idea is that Janet Yellen is deferring too much to Jay Powell. Jay Powell was an appointee originally under President Trump. I don't know if you would continue to have him in this role. Do you think he's doing a good job? I mean, I think these are some of the real questions here.
You know, I don't think you can use the excuse or the Fed as an excuse. Yes, they partnered with the Biden administration on more stimulus spending. They did really deny the impact or how serious inflation in the labor crisis was, as you recall, despite so many small businesses telling them there's a huge problem here. So, yeah, the Fed is a bad actor in this. But look, Joe Biden came out of the gate, took his eye off COVID testing and therapies and treatments immediately, proposed major tax increases. And his policies, if you recall, Andrew, made the labor crisis work because 2 of his major policies actually discouraged Americans from reconnecting to work, and if made permanent, would cause about 1.5 million Americans to exit the workforce as we need them. So I don't think they can pass this off to the Fed.